What up, though? Good evening and welcome to another episode of What is this, though? Now that I think about it, hold up. So tonight's episode is kind of a merging of unscripted and unfiltered, right? So unscripted is when I lean kind of closer towards just going over the 9 areas of human activity and just going on some intelligent shit. Not really intelligent shit. It's when I lean more towards the 9 areas of human activity and just kind of going through the 9 areas. That's more unscripted. Unfiltered is when I talk about more relationship things. But it's all under the auspice, all under the umbrella of Notoriously Opinionated. I am Notoriously Opinionated, and this is unscripted, unfiltered, the blending, right? So, and the reason why it's a little difficult for me to really define tonight whether this is unscripted or unfiltered is because it's both. I'm gonna be talking a little bit about relationships, but it's the relationship that you have with yourself. Again, let me explain. Relationship is not always talking about the relationship that you have with other people, say, or more prevalently, with your significant other. Like, whatever your significant other is, whether you are married, dating, or somewhere in between, right? Like, is that journey. So so tonight I'm talking about different kinds of relationships, more specifically the relationship that you have with yourself, and kind of various aspects that you have with maybe a significant other, somebody that you're dating, whatever the case may be. I don't know what I did with that. Okay. We're gonna be getting into some EI stuff, some EQ stuff, some IQ stuff, which is why it's kind of unscripted and unfiltered, right? But at the end of it, hopefully you learn something. At the end of it, hopefully you grow. Let me hit y'all with this long one. It's your man, unscripted, unfiltered, notoriously opinionated. Let's go. All right, so whoa, hold up, we are having technical difficulties. I can't hear jack. Hold up, check. How come I can't hear nothing? I am about to lose it. All right, so I guess I can hear a little bit. Yeah, I can hear. I'm tripping. All right, so since this is unfiltered and unscripted, and I know unfiltered had a long intro, and yes, I am the one that did the editing for. I created that whole intro. That was me. I ain't get that off nothing. I made that. But I also want to show you. It's only fair. I'm a Libra. I believe in balance. It's only fair that I show you the unfiltered, since this is a merge. So here we go. I'll be over here kicking it during the during the intros. Real rap. I'll be over here kicking it. I can't even front. I'll be over here kicking it. All right. First and foremost, man, if this is your first time tuning in to Notoriously Opinionated, unscripted, unfiltered, on Notoriously Opinionated, welcome. If you've been rocking with the kid, welcome back. I appreciate everybody. Promise, I do. But I would like to give a public shout out to the creator. The creator has imbued me with the ability to tap into the universe and allows the universe to allow me to manifest the things into my life that I want and or need. And I am very appreciative of that, because there are things and situations that have that I've been blessed to have fallen into my life here recently, and I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm gonna rock it out, and I'm gonna ride with it, you know, forever. All right. Now, with that, shout out to the late great David Arnold, right? And why am I shouting out to David? David Arnold, to those of you who don't know, for real, was a dope comedian. Transitioned way too soon, right? He had 2 specials. The first one was called, I want to say, Fat Ballerina. And the second one, which is my reason for bringing it up tonight, his second Netflix show was called It Ain't for the Weak, right? Now, David Arnold was talking about the comedy game. The comedy game ain't for the weak, right? Me, I'm talking about life. It ain't for the weak. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a high self-efficacy, life will eat you up. Real rap. Life will eat you alive. What is self-efficacy? So first, we got to get into what efficacy is. Efficacy is, how can I define it? Efficacy is the ability to, it's kind of what I was just saying. It's like the ability to, no, wait a minute. It's the ability of something to, it's the ability of something to produce a desired effect. That's what efficacy is, right? That's like the layman definition of efficacy. It's the ability of something to derive a desired effect, right? Or to produce a desired effect. All right. So an example of efficacy would be like, all right, so everybody knows that outside of filmmaking, one of my lifelong dreams is to have my own school. Like, I want a school, a private school, that I will be able to come up with the not curriculum, because if it's a curriculum, then that means I have to go through the Board of Education, which is what's killing our kids to begin with, right? Which is the main producer of the school to prison pipeline. Not doing board of education. Missouri, but I ain't even gonna go into that. That's a whole episode. I could do a whole episode on the lack of education. I have seen things over these last 3 years dealing with kids that upsets me, unnerves me, it pisses me off, right? I've been getting pissed off since I was 2. Ask my mama. But not for real. She told me when I was 2 that I was in like the backseat or something, and I had some look on my face, and she asked me what was wrong. I said, I'm pissed off. I was 2. Been pissed off since I was 2. Now I got every reason to be pissed off when it comes to the education of these kids nowadays. You know, I know, listen, I can't make this up. I know seniors who can't count money. Seniors in high school who cannot count money. Like if something costs $11.50 and they give the people a 20, right? They don't know how much change they're supposed to get back. It's sad. You know, it's sad. We went swimming the other day, and I asked this little brother, senior in high school, I asked him, I said, hey, my man, how tall do you have to be to get on one of these slides? He said, oh, about 48 inches, about 2 feet. How? What? He said about 48 inches, 2 feet. What grade you in? More importantly, do you ride? Never mind. I want my own school, right? I want my own school, because then I get to come up with the content, not curriculum. I'm gonna come up with the content that I want relayed to my students. And I've told kids about this for years. And for years, kids have been like, Mr. Damon, I would love to come to your school. It's gonna be hard. You gonna be hard on us, but I know we gonna have fun and we gonna learn. All facts. All facts. All right. All right, where I want to go. So, okay, let's go here. Let's go to, all right, so tonight's episode, I'm really talking about, who the hell? I don't know, I might do, let me holler at one of my guys. I don't know, I ain't made up my mind about that yet. I do plan on having guests starting in August. We're gonna have a fellas roundtable, right? So, ladies, I suggest, this is my humble suggestion, right? If you want to hear what we thinking, like unfiltered, if you want to hear what we thinking unfiltered, check out some of these episodes in August. It's gonna be me and some of my guys on here going unfiltered, you know, and yeah, you gonna learn a lot if you listen. If you pay attention, you will learn a lot, right? If you do not, you will stay in the same state of being that you are currently in, and that is up to you. So we talking about emotional intelligence tonight, right? Emotional intelligence, emotional quotient. Hell, I'll even get into the differentiation between IQ, EQ, and EI, right? So let's start with, you know what? Let's start with unscripted. Let's do this. Unscripted. Emotional intelligence, right? Emotional intelligence can fall into a variety of the 9 areas of human activity. right? Because you're talking about the labor, because you have to use the mind, and the mind is a muscle, and the muscle is working, and working is labor. All right. So, um, so emotional, no, not emotional, intellectual quotient, right? IQ. Why do I want to talk about emotional shit? I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Intellectual quotient, intelligence quotient. Um, it's supposed to measure your intelligence for a variety of different areas, reasoning, spatial reasoning. It's a lot of different categories to to IQ, right? Uh, it deals with problem solving. It deals with like visual stimuli or uh, visual or spatial reasoning, right? Um, However, here's the thing about IQ. There's more intelligences than just IQ. IQ uh is your basic standardized bullshit, right? But there's more to intelligence than just the intelligence quotient, right? There's more to it. So it's like if you are not like this um Pinky in the Brain, Shelton off Big Bang Theory type individual, does that mean you don't have intelligence? Absolutely not. There's a lot of different intelligences. So I have been gifted and blessed with being a person of words and letters all my life. I was able to construct complicated sentences before I even knew what all the goddamn words meant. Like it took me being able to read and study the dictionary and encyclopedias and things like that to be able to not just, I could always use words correctly before I even knew their proper meaning. Like I may have known what they meant on a surface level, but to be able to use them correctly. However, I didn't really know what a whole lot of the words that I was using meant. I just knew that this was the correct way to use it, that this was the right syntax and sentence structure. That's all I knew, right? Then I learned about I started breaking down words and the etymology of these words and where these words come from and what languages created all these different words to create the word that you see before you. So the word that you might see before you right now is psychology. It would have been cool if I'd have had psychology come across the screen, wouldn't it? Yeah, didn't. This is not edited. This is live. So psychology, and I didn't even mean to go here with this, but all of this is psychology, not Buddhism. So this is psychology, and part of psychology is this. So the psyche, the first part of psychology, because the second part is real easy, but the psyche part of psychology deals with the spirit or the soul or the mind, right? All three are kind of synonymous: the spirit, the soul, and the mind. And then it is the ology part, and it's the psyche. So, and psyche wasn't even spelled the way it was spelled right now. It goes back to like Greek or something like that, and it had a K in it. It's like KE at the end. Then you have, had a KE at the end. So then you got the ology, which is just the science or the study of a thing. So it's the science or the study of the spirit, the soul, or the mind. So that's psychology. Now they, whipped it and twisted it curly until it became the study or the science of human behavior, right? So it is what it is now. But back to IQ. No, not back to IQ. Back to the different types of intelligences. So I was always good with words and letters. And it took a lot for me to be good with numbers. I used the part of my brain more that was better with words versus the side of my brain that was better with numbers. So I'm creative. You know, that's what words are, because like words ain't shit. You know, words was made up and created. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got a word that would sound the same but spelled different ways. You know, so you got night and night. You got two, two, and two. You know, like especially English. English is full of shit. Don't get me started on English. Do not get me started on knife. Don't get me started. So anyway, we're gonna stick with just the creativity of language and how you can manipulate words to make it do what it do. Versus numbers is what it is. It's like this thing and this thing create two things. Period. You know what I'm saying? There is no like if I got this rock and I got this rock and I switch them two rocks, still two rocks. And then if I switch them back, still two rocks. But if I say two, like what two am I talking about? You'd have to listen to the sentence. But if I just say, hey, spell two. TWO. Nope. TO. Nope. TOO. Well, that's the only one left. So yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying? So you can manipulate words. You can't manipulate numbers. You know, but well, unless you're Bernie Madoff. Anyway, other than Bernie Madoff, you can't manipulate numbers. Anyway, but you can have linguistic intelligence. That is a different form of intelligence. Linguistic intelligence. You can have logical and mathematical intelligence. That is another form of intelligence. You can have spatial intelligence. I got that too. So my spatial reasoning skills is ridiculous. Like I'm like the master of the physical world Tetris. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll take a room full of shit, right? And put it to where it'll all fit. I wish y'all could see my room. Like I got so much stuff in my room. It is ridiculous. Like for real. And you wouldn't think that I would make space in the room, but I do. I got space and I got, holy shit. Like, yeah, it's like that. So, yeah. So my point is there's all kinds of intelligences that you can have other than your basic spatial reasoning, you know, and the things that they the things that they test in a psychology, in a IQ test, right? In a standardized IQ test. You have musical intelligence. There are some people who are musical geniuses and can't read. I'm telling you, there's different kinds of intelligences. Real rap. You have people who have interpersonal intelligence. Like, we interact with people. I can interact with people extremely well, right? But can't formulate sentences. Can't count. But I'm good with people, you know. I'm personable, you know. So, like I said, it's different intelligences other than the IQ standardized shit that, you know, that goes down. All right. Now that's IQ, and that's the different intelligences other than IQ. Now, on the inside, you got EQ, emotional intelligence, right? A lot of people are hip to IQ. Not a lot of people are hip to EQ, right? EQ is the emotional quotient. So it measures your EI, which is emotional intelligence. And I be seeing podcast, not podcast. Well, yeah, I guess it is podcasts on Instagram that I really need to watch. I really need to watch these podcasts because it intrigues me. Color me intrigued, right? And a lot of the podcasts are talking about how men are now becoming more emotionally intelligent, and what women are going to do now that men are becoming more emotionally intelligent, right? So what you gonna do? You know? And emotional intelligence is just the ability to understand and manage your emotions. You know, there are people who may run across the term emotional dysregulation, right? Stop it. I mean, you could be emotionally dysregulated, but if you are emotionally dysregulated, you need more than just a therapist. You need clinical help, because most people who suffer from emotional dysregulation have mental health. Well, it was this joke. A lot of people don't like hearing this joke. I gotta remember how it go. All right, so dang, how does it go? All right, so there was a study done that stated that 25% of women are being treated for mental health disorders. 25% of women are being treated for mental health disorders. That is shocking. That is disturbing, right? Because that means that 75% of y'all is walking around here untreated. That's disturbing, right? It ain't necessarily disturbing that the 25%, they the ones getting help. They the ones that realize that they needed some assistance. They are getting help. What's disturbing is you 75% that's walking around these streets untreated. Go get you some help, right? Y'all can't be a better us until you a better you. So you 75% that's walking around here untreated, go get you some help. Like them 25% of the women is doing. Get it done. You know. Anyway. So if you can't find positive ways of relieving your own stress, right? Of realizing your own self-efficacy, right? Then you might need to be one of the ones that go get some help, because you need it. Period. I mean, not you. Okay. It's serial comedic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean everything I say. However, I mean everything I say, but there's a serial comedy to it. You know. So I'm like, it's hard to put a percentage on how much I'm playing and how much I'm serious, in regards to that, but like for real, we need it too, you know. We need to be able to talk to somebody other than ourselves. Like I talk to myself, and because of that, I can only go so far because I only know so much. So I I talk to myself. I talk to my inner intelligence, which is kind of my gateway to the creator. But when it comes to self-efficacy, and self-efficacy really is uh your okay it's a person's belief or ability as to whether they can or cannot achieve certain or specific goals, right? So it's your confidence in your own capabilities, period, right? So it's like if you have high efficacy, then you have a high regard for what you feel you can get accomplished. If you have a low self-efficacy, not high efficacy, but self-efficacy, you believe very highly in your ability to achieve things. If you have a low self-efficacy, you have a low understanding and ability to achieve things, right? So um yeah, and that's part all of that is part of emotional intelligence, right? um Let me see. um part of um part of my I forgot to tell you this. So the reason I even wanted to do a show like this tonight is, and I should have led with this, but part of the reason I wanted to do a show like this tonight, there's a lot, like I said, it's a lot of different uh there's a lot of different factors that's going on with me, but I ran across something that I wrote years ago. Like when I say years ago, I mean like it was 15 plus years ago. 15 plus years ago. And I mentioned it on the show a few times. Go back through the 120 some odd episodes that I've already recorded, and you might pick it up. But so I had it was a book that I began to write, never finished it, um called The Thing Behind the Thing. And that was based on something that I used to say all the time. I would tell people all the time. I was like, man, it ain't the thing. It ain't even the thing, man. It's the thing behind the thing. And people really never knew what the hell I was talking about. So I had to break it down. It's not the thing, right? It's the thing behind the thing. So people was like, it's not this thing that they put in front of you. They saying fuck you behind this thing. They playing smoke and mirrors with you, but they got the stimulus. Okay, so I know that was rude, but it serves a point. Shock value. So if somebody is saying forget you, right? That is the stimulus behind the object, behind the thing that's in front of you that you really can't understand where it's coming from, but it's coming from disrespect. Like they're really disrespecting you, right? And so the disrespect causes the stimulus, which causes this thing in front of you, the object that you see, right? But the object that you see is based on the stimulus, right? The stimulus gets to moving and creates the object. It creates the energy for the object to be and move. It stimulates it. It stimulates it. Stimulating. Stimulate. It stimulates it. So that's the thing behind the thing. And then I said, you know what? There's a psychology to these things. So I came up with the psychology of things, which spreads across and goes back into the 9 areas of human activity. So it's the psychology of things, right? There's a psychology to relationships. There's a psychology to life. There's a psychology to your job, to work. There's a psychology to entertainment. There's a psychology to things, right? So that's where I came up with the thing behind the thing, or the stimulus behind the object, and the psychology of things that can spread across the universe that we know. So that's what made me want to kind of do this and kind of blend the I ain't even on chats right now, man. All right, what's up, Rashad? Man, that's my guy, man. KC is in town. That's what's up. I've been having comments in my thing and wasn't even looking at them. My bad, bro. So I had a dude yesterday. I'm in the it wasn't yesterday. It was earlier this week. I'm in Dollar General, Dollar Tree. I was getting me some Reese's. Wherever I was at, I was getting me some Reese's. And so I'm in my line with the Reese's, and it's a lady in the middle of us, and then my man is at the checkout counter, and he looked back at me. I got on, KC Royals hat, KC Royals jersey. He was like, he just kept looking back at me. I'm like, what's wrong with this brother? You know what I'm saying? So he was like, boy, I like that shirt, man. I love that shirt. He's like, KC is a town. I'm like, what's up? Salute. But okay. KC is a town. Anyway, so that's where the whole psychology of things episode came from tonight, where I wanted to go into the intelligences, the emotional intelligence, as well as the intelligent quotient. What else did I want to talk about? I keep saying I'm going to talk about unconditional love versus conditional relationships. I keep saying I'm gonna talk about that. I just don't have the energy to talk about it tonight. So that's something and I think the reason why I keep holding back on that one is so that I can talk about that with my guys. So that's one of the things I want to talk about with the fellas. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the topics that we can sit around, because we've always been able to just sit around and talk. Like, when we get together, we go. We go. So, but I got a lot going on in my life right now. So I just got to remember, hey, send these requests out to the fellas and see who responds. Okay. Okay. Anyway. So now I am, when it comes to EI and EQ, I am talking to the women, right? Get your EQ and your EI game up, please, and thank you, because like, it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? It's necessary for your EI game to be up, for your relationship to be successful. It is important for your self-efficacy to be high. right? There's also a long history of women who could not control their emotions and paid the price for it. The price being you lose a good dude, right? Uh, and he gets vilified for it, you know. But it is what it is. I like I said, I'm a believer in the demonian law, which is everything that can go right will go right, you know, and that's what it is. So um, because like I said last week, like I'm not gonna say all women, but a lot of y'all, you know, have problems listening to your man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear this from the fellas. This is not me. I hear this from the fellas. The fellas will say, man, I will say something that I believe is really plain. And it's like she doesn't hear it. She can't repeat what I say. It's like she doesn't understand. It's not computing. You know what I'm saying? I need to give her one of them tests like she's a bot. Like, you know what I mean? So, and then you'll ask us questions that we don't have answers for. You know, it's like a lot of times y'all got more questions than we got answers, because we'll tell you it goes back to last week. Y'all have more questions, we have answers, and all we know is that Tom is being in a horrible accident. We're supposed to be praying for him. That's all. If you don't get that joke, go back to last week's. You know what? You don't got to go back to last week's joke. I'm gonna tell it again. So, there was a husband. There was a husband who got a text. It said, "Pray for Tom. He's been in a horrible accident." Right? He goes in the kitchen where his wife is. He says to his wife, "Hey, I just got a text that said we need to pray for Tom. He's been in a horrible accident." And she was like, "Well, were the kids in the car?" "I don't know. I just got a text that said pray for Tom. He's been in a horrible accident." "Well, what about his wife?" "I don't know. All I know is that I got a text saying pray for Tom. He's been in a terrible accident." You know? "Well, will he make it to work?" "All I know is I got a text saying pray for Tom." You know what I'm saying? Stop asking us questions that we don't have answers to. Like, we simple. Like, in that regard, we are so simple. Like, if we tell you this, don't ask us all the stuff that's around this, right? We right here. You asking us stuff that's out here. We don't know. We don't know. You know, quit asking us stuff that we don't know as if we know. And then if we get to creating, if we get to creating, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we get to creating answers, it's a problem. Anyway. So, let's recap. We went over efficacy, self-efficacy, intelligence quotient, IQ, emotional quotient, EQ, emotional intelligence, which is the umbrella that the emotional quotient is up under. We talked about the different intelligences other than the standardized test for IQ. We talked about how there's a musical intelligence, there's a linguistic intelligence, there's a mathematical intelligence. There's a lot of different intelligences other than the one that can be tested. You can see somebody's musical intelligence. Like, see that right there? That is a keyboard. That right there is my Casio keyboard. I bought that keyboard 4 years ago. About 4 years ago. About 3 years ago. Yeah. I played it for maybe a week. I played one song over and over again. Brian McKnight, Do I Ever Cross Your Mind? Don't know if I can play it right now, but I believe I still know the melody. So yeah. So like I said, I'm gonna get my guys on here in the month of August, and we gonna get into some things. Until then, we let you in on what the guy got going on still behind the camera. So Breakout Media Group, aka Blue. Okay, so Blue KC videography is about to change because although Blue KC videography is starting to go up on the Google search, I'm sick of being regarded as healthcare. Like, anything Blue KC automatically goes to Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I did not think of that when I created the name. So there may be a revamping of Blue KC videography, but Breakout Media Group is still going to be the parent company. It's not changing. It ain't going nowhere. So it's going to be BMG, for the duration. But Blue KC videography might have an overhaul. I don't know. More than likely, though. Just because that's what one of my advisors advised, that I changed the name of Blue KC videography to something else. So I'm gonna listen. What else? Got films coming up, man. Shout out to my guy, my producer, my dude Akasha, man. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy Mustafa, man. What's up, Mustafa? Who else? Shout out to my guy Johnny Waller Jr. Man, that's my dope, right? And who's moving and shaking? Man, who's moving and shaking other than my dude, my little guy, man? 3MAKC, man. Shout out to the homie Lil Trey, man. You dig? My little homie grind 27-9. I promise. Like, hey, man, pull up on the homie, man. Pull up on the homie. So stay tuned, right? Stay tuned. Keep your shoes tied up, because you can either go with me or watch me go. One or two. So until next week, it's been your man of many names and letters. And until next time, I will see you next week. Same Notorious time, same Notorious station. I got some work to do on a project that's upcoming. And so until then, I'm out.